Hey there everybody, Jonathan Mattmen is Painted Love and welcome to my channel. For today's project, it's going to be a rather quick, speeded up video. I'm working on this beautiful little sewing chest which was gifted to me by Annie Sloan at one of our events that we did last year. And when she gifted it to me, I asked her, can I paint over it? And she said, of course. I know you think I'm crazy painting over Annie's work, but I needed a small project because there's a lot of work going to be involved in what I choose to do with the overall paint finish, and I think this is the perfect shape. I'm going to go with lots of colour because I'm working on a paint challenge which has got 4 creatives involved. One of them is Katya and Daniel, Other Man's Treasures, and Christina at the Heirloom. So we're all working with the very same 4 colours. That is Scandinavian Pink, Antibes Green, Giverny, and Louis Blue. We picked those colours from a hat. Each one of us picked a colour. That's what we came out with. And we're allowed to use one other neutral colour from Annie Sloan's colour wheel. So that could be graphite, it could be old white, it could be French linen. So I've chose to go with Athenian black, and I'm going to mix Athenian black with all of these colours, and I'm going to intermix these colours together to create many shades, which I have done a tutorial on some of those shade mixing. I will link it into the description box below if you want to see some of the shades that I made with these colours. And I'm going to hopefully mix hundreds of shades of colours. It's going to take some time to go on this very small chest, and I'm just going to keep it really simple but interesting. I don't really know where I'm going with it. You'll have to watch and follow the journey and see where I end up with this. It might be a hot mess or a disaster, but I've got kind of a loose plan. Let's take a look at the actual piece of furniture. Okay, so I'm going to take you through some of my ideas in my head, which are one of the ideas that I'm going to go with, and hopefully it will come out the way that I hope. So I'm going to start out with a base coat. So I'm going to mix a base coat that's quite neutral. This is my canvas coat, so I can work all of my other colours over the top. Probably something like Scandinavian Pink, Antibes Green, maybe a bit of Louis Blue in there to try and create a very neutral sort of Chateau grey green colour. And then I'm ready to start my decorative work. Now the decorative work, what I've decided to do with that is create hundreds of colours using all of the same shades, maybe starting with darker shades at the bottom. I'm going to take a small flat paintbrush. I've got 4 of these. I'm going to have to rinse my brushes quite a lot because I'm going to change the colour constantly. But I'm going to add what looks kind of like the slates on a house roof. I'm just going to add dashes along this whole cabinet all the way around and build them up, maybe dark from light, so they're kind of a bit loose. It's not really my kind of work that I would normally do, but I like that looseness of paint. So if there's little gaps of the base colour shining through, I'm not going to worry about that, but I'm just going to build up along with different colours, then alter those colours, darken them up, add a little other nuances of shade, and just randomly paint this whole thing, all the way around, right the way to the top, maybe end with something different up here. So that's my plan. Let's get stuck in with mixing a fairly neutral colour, and we'll give this canvas coat, and then we can start with the decorative part. So I've decided to use some mixing cups to make the majority of my colours. I'm going in with the Athenian Black, quite a lot for these first colour mixes, then adding a touch of each of the colours that were from the colour challenge. You can see me here mixing them all together, and you'll see quite some interesting shades. Very muted, but still very beautiful. So I've also decided to mix other tones of colour by mixing two of the colours from the colour challenge. So in this case, I'm using Scandinavian Pink, and I'm popping a little bit of Giverny together to make a very different shade. And of course, I'm adding a touch of the Athenian Black, which will just make that shade a little bit more muted. And I'm going to carry on like this over lots of different combinations until I'm happy with the shades that I've got. So I'm really happy with some of the colour mixes that I've come up with. They're quite muted and I really love these shades. As you can see, I've kind of laid them out in a sort of colour wheel, blending from one to the other in tone and depth and darkness and shade. If I hold it up, you can kind of see there. This is just to make it a little bit easier on me. I've only got 4 brushes the same size. I'm gonna have to wipe the paint off each time. So I'm keeping a brush on each side of this kind of color wheel. So we're going through from the greens through to the more warmer neutrals, through to the purples, back into the blues, darks, back into the greens, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to randomly apply these colors. I may change and add more tone to these colors later on as I get further up the project, or I might just stick with what I've got. I'm not too sure yet. But I'm really super happy with some of these shades. Gorgeous, gorgeous shades. Okay guys, as you can see, I've gotten off to a great start with this look, but I have to be truly honest, you all know by now this is not the finished piece. I was really struggling with the overall outcome of this. For some reason, it just didn't feel right to me. Although it does look quite nice, now I'm looking back at this video, I probably should have given myself more time and kept on going with this. Problem was, I was super busy. I was heading off to Oxford. I'd had only one day to complete this project before you guys actually got to see it. So I think this is a look that I must go back and actually try and recreate and give myself some more time. I just lost my way, to be honest. I lost my way with what I was doing. I think the principle of this idea was great, but somewhere, as you'll see, I end up painting over the whole thing with the base coat again and thinking on my feet, I've mixed all of these beautiful shades, what to do next? So something that I'm more comfortable with is blending. So I thought I'd go for a petrol-like blend, something that kind of looks kind of muted, soft, holographic in its appearance. So that's what I did. So I'll leave it for you to make your mind up whether I should have carried on with this look, but unfortunately I didn't. You'll see. Okay, so off we go again. Brand new base coat back on, the same colour. And I'm going in with my darker shade to this leg, and it's all about blending this time. And I'm picking up colours around that kind of colour wheel that I formed when I started, and adding sections, just section by section, blending the two colours together, blending them wet on wet. Now this is something that I find much easier. So once you've applied that section of colour, go in with a slightly different shade and add the next colour, and so on. I do have a full tutorial on blending, a couple of them. I will link them into the description box below, but for now just sit back and enjoy, watch what I'm doing. Hopefully you'll like the end product. Well, I'm nearing the end of this project. I've added a new handle to the little drawer and I'm going in with a coat of clear wax to seal down my paint finish. Do let me know in the comments whether you think I should have persevered with my original idea. I suppose both of these looks are kind of not my style. Nevertheless, it was about a colour challenge and I worked out that you can mix so many beautiful shades just with those 4 colours, so I'm pleased to showcase that the 4 colours don't exist on this piece, only in a colour mix.